Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. Today we have the Fed meeting, so let's have a quick think about that first. Basically, I mean, it's not until 7 p.m. So UK time, GMT. However, we do get markets often go a bit slow leading through to it, but the expectations is that quantitative easing is going to be completely done away with very soon, and they may even discuss the fact that there will be an interest rate increase in March. Now, it really depends on how they put that content over. I expect that there will be quite a mixed message probably coming through, but if it's clear, then we'll see clear movement, hopefully, and we'll see clear movement for a day or two. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw what we saw last time, that the Fed did something and discussed something. The dollar actually being sold, because there's a lot of expectation built into the dollar at the moment. However, what actually happens from there, we'll have to see, but I won't be surprised if we saw it sold on the normal news. If it's anything out of the ordinary, then we'll see a bit more movement, volatility. Okay, let's start looking in. As I say, that's the key thing today. There are other news events, not a lot. Well, unless you live in Canada, there's a Bank of Canada rate. Now they're suggesting here the overnight rate would be left the same. Now again, I'm not too sure if that is what I'm seeing forecast. I'm sure I'm seeing some forecast a 0.25% interest rate increase, but and a steady row of them, and certainly looking actually at the CME tool. It's a Fed tool. I've not got it sitting on there, but there's a bit more of an expectation of multiple increases from the Bank of Canada. Anyway, we'll see what happens there, but that's at 3 p.m. this afternoon, so there is some potential volatility to kick around about that time. Thereafter, crude oil inventories, might see oil volatility. Bank of Canada press conference, again some more volatility, but the big one is the Fed funds rate there at 7 p.m. and again 7:30 press conference. Okay, that's the key data out today, the key risk events. But as I said, be careful, because it can get quite choppy on days leading into this. You can get led. I've turned my auto traders off at the moment. I turned it off yesterday actually, which was quite good because it got quite choppy. Looking at this euro dollar, sorry, I'll come back to the dailies there, selling off quite strongly, still selling off, still back into this earlier range. It's run into its monthly S1 properly yesterday, actually ran through it a little bit. Lower highs, lower lows continue. It just looks soft in its what we're seeing at the moment. That could all change later, but for now, that's the easiest route is to the downside generally. I've said that. We'll see this morning it probably pick up and continue this movement that we saw from yesterday, but there was some slightest of divergences over the top there, a weak divergence. So if it does rally, well, I'll just stay out of it. If there's an opportunity, I might have a discretionary trade, but as I said, auto trading is off for me today. The pound really caught the bounce yesterday. There we go. It came down to its a couple of areas. 1272 extension. I was talking about these extensions and these movements. Have been measuring the sort of waves a little bit lately. Came down to that, bounced off that quite clearly, and ended up the day quite well. Also, of course, double bottom. It was daily S1. There was a whole bundle of things that was sitting around there. At the moment, again, divergence and a clearer divergence here. We've got the first touch of the RSI up into the 80s and a lower movement there, so a bit more weaker movement. For me, it becomes more of a sell on the break of the daily pivot there. So, but for now, well, it's working its way down softly, slowly. Dollar yen. Dollar yen, well, still riding this sort of the downward wave really, although catching a bit of a bounce this morning. Risk back on a little bit this morning by looks of things, although this horrible chop, and you get this running into the Fed on the yen. You get it on a lot of other currencies as well, but it's particularly choppy there. Very difficult to really decide on what you would want to do there, aside of where you can see the sort of slight range to the upside. It's curling round here, and maybe that's the path of least resistance is to the upside towards its daily R1 there. Yesterday's highs maybe. Yen, Aussie dollar. So the Aussie dollar didn't really continue much yesterday. Well, it didn't continue. Well, continued for a short while, but bounced back a little bit. And again, we're seeing these little bounce backs against the US dollar at the moment. We've seen it with the pound a little bit clearer, lesser one with the euro, but it seems a bit more, let's say, risk-on sort of pattern. Well, we've already seen the 1272 extension on here. It sort of happened, and it seems to be bouncing off of that for now anyway. So bigger picture with lower highs, lower lows. It's just ranging where it's sitting at the moment. Is still softish, but has on the short term here, as I say, it's quite rangy, and you can see how flat it is. It was flat for so long yesterday with slightest moves. Probably falling traders in, particularly that one at 3 o'clock. It literally took the lows, then went and took the highs out all in one bar. And it's the sort of trading you get at this time when you've got key news coming out. Canadian dollar, same situation yesterday. I'm not going to go through it at the moment because it's doing very similar. But there you go. We had the bar out about 3 o'clock, leading into 4 before the fix, taking out the bottom, then the top, and again it ranged so tightly all day long. Of course, we've got news coming out in Canada, so maybe towards 3 o'clock we may get some decent price action post 3 o'clock. But remember, there is also the conference as well afterwards. Leading into commodities then. Commodity wise, we've had the divergence on gold up the highs here. Let's come back a little bit here. It's gold did push up yesterday, continue its push into its monthly R1, but it's reacted to that R1 sort of territory, selling off a little bit at the moment. And as I said, as you move down, you can see some divergences. Even across here, it's probably my MACD's slower. There we go. So it shows the divergence across the highs here at the moment. And if the risk is coming back into these markets a little bit, well, wouldn't be surprised if it does correct a little bit. Again, though, support-wise, we've got this sort of support at around about 18. I'm just putting it on here, somewhere between 1843 and that 1842 area where we got the 50 MA. So there's the potential support for it. But looking a bit soft this morning as we go into the news. Oil. So we saw a bit of a correction yesterday. I still think the path of the least resistance is generally to the upside. As I said yesterday morning, it's not something I really want to be in unless it's pushing to the upside. Consolidated here through the Asian session, but starting to push already today, and the higher low confirmed there. So it looks like it's on another shove up for now at least. Remember, we've got the crude oil inventories later, which could have quite an effect on it, but for now, shoving up in this market session. Right, moving across then, switch over to the equity markets. Actually, let's just do the cryptos first, only on the basis of want to see if the FTSE opens. Bitcoin, typical chatting about this yesterday. We saw another update there on Bitcoin, but just getting this little rally coming through at the moment. Probably just enough to get people starting to buy in there and think of it's good value, which it might be, but I still think there's further downside. Ethereum not really joining the party too much. It's a slight day up there, but generally this is still so bearish. And for me, if I was looking to buy Ethereum, which I quite like, I'd have to see a higher low coming through on the dailies. I'd want to see something more significant than what we're seeing at the moment. Ripple or XRP, still here quite soft where it's sitting. It's like most of these markets are trying a similar thing. Cardano not really doing too well yesterday. In fact, it closed lower. Some of the Litecoin did the same. So a lot of these other markets, the ones I've been looking at, like FTM, it's gone ugly. It's gone back into its sort of bigger range here. Could easily go either way, but it's gone quite ugly. Had a good old spell, but given a lot of it back. So, as I say, for me, the cryptos, I look at them in a sort of more long-term state, and they're really still looking very soft. Looking across the Asian markets, then indexes, and well, Hong Kong index. Still selling largely yesterday and today. Well, we've seen it sort of it's shown a bit of a positive close, but it's still made it yet another new low, and we've seen this range of lower highs, and I expect that to continue, unless of course there's something dollar-wise this afternoon or this evening which affects these markets, and may just see something that sort of pushes its way through for a short-term movement at least. Nikkei 225, well, still looking bearish. It's closed bearish. I'm going to go to Nifty 50 for those as we're looking through, trying to get it in some sort of order. Selling off here. We had a bit of a bounce overnight then, or through the Asian session, and not doing too bad at the moment. It seems to be through most of these markets. DAX already bouncing a little bit, closed down quite low, gapped up, moved. It's been all over the place, but the same sort of bounce we're seeing. So it just seems like the risk is back on through all the markets, and we're just seeing these moves at the moment. Now they may continue post Fed, but I wouldn't bet the house on it either way. S&Ps futures there up at the moment. A gap down though over the between the close reopen there. Gap down, and we're seeing the same sort of picture with the Nasdaq. Had done the same, but well, gapped up a little bit. Sorry, I beg your pardon. And the Dow Jones again, little bounces at the moment. So equity markets just seeing bounces coming through. I'm not going to get the FTSE on there, but I expect this is continuing. It's the 25th, 26th today, so yeah, I haven't got the new bar. I expect this to be pushing up on the open. Okay, that's it from me. Let's just check there's no questions there. No, good. Okay, oil's pushing up even more as I look at it. In fact, I'm going to stop looking at it because I'll jump in too soon. And really, I want to be in this, if I'm going to be in it, more so in the afternoons normally. But as I said, watch out. We've got the inventories out later. Okay, for me, trading wise, I'll be careful. I'll be trading, maybe if there's something running this morning, I'll be trading it. I'll most likely be out of it by the afternoon. In fact, that was my pattern for yesterday. I was in a trade in the morning and then finished that finished, hit some support, and that was it. I came out and left it. So that will be my plan for today. Just sharing that with you. Have a great day. Bye for now.